She was a servant, forgotten by people, but not by God. This is the story of Hagar, a woman who was pushed aside, hurt, and alone, yet deeply seen and loved by God. Sarai, the wife of Abram, had no children. It broke her heart. She waited for years, but still, no baby came. So one day she made a hard decision. She told her husband, "Take my servant Hagar. Maybe I can have a child through her." Abram agreed, and Hagar became pregnant. But once Hagar knew she was carrying a baby, something changed. She started to look down on Sarai, and Sarai became angry and jealous. She blamed Abram, and he said, "She's your servant. Do whatever you think is right." Sarai treated Hagar so badly that Hagar ran away into the desert. Tired, afraid, and pregnant, she sat by a spring of water. "Hagar, where have you come from and where are you going?" "I'm running away from my mistress." "Go back and be strong. You are going to have a son. Name him Ishmael, which means God hears, because God has heard your pain. He will grow into a strong man and you will have many descendants, too many to count." Hagar was in awe. She said, "You are the God who sees me," and named the well Bir Lahai Roi, the well of the living one who sees me. She returned and gave birth to Ishmael. Abram was 86 years old at the time. Years passed. Sarai, now called Sarah, finally had a son of her own, Isaac, just as God had promised. When Isaac was a young boy, Abraham held a big feast. But Sarah saw Ishmael, now a teenager, laughing or mocking, and she was furious. She told Abraham, "Send Hagar and her son away. Ishmael will not share in Isaac's inheritance." Abraham was deeply troubled. This was his son too. But God spoke to him, "Do not worry. Do what Sarah says. I will take care of Ishmael. He will become a great nation because he is your son." So early the next morning, Abraham gave Hagar some food and water and sent her away with her son. They wandered into the desert. Soon the water ran out. Hagar placed Ishmael under a bush and walked a little distance away. "I can't watch him die," she cried, and she began to weep. But God heard Ishmael's cries. From heaven, the angel of God called out to Hagar, "What is the matter? Don't be afraid. God has heard the boy. Go to him. Lift him up. He will become a great nation." Then God opened Hagar's eyes, and she saw a well of water. She rushed to fill her skin and gave Ishmael a drink. God stayed with Ishmael as he grew up. He lived in the desert, became a skilled archer, and Hagar found him a wife from Egypt. God sees the forgotten. Even when no one else does, God sees you. God hears our pain. Hagar didn't pray out loud, but still, God heard her tears. Even when people push you away, God draws you close. God has a plan for everyone, even those who feel rejected. If you ever feel alone, mistreated, or lost, remember Hagar. Call out to the God who sees and the God who hears. He hasn't forgotten you. He's right there, ready to show you a way when you see none. Trust him. He sees you. He hears you. He has a purpose for your life. If you enjoyed this journey through history, don't forget to subscribe and give us a thumbs up.